Good day, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're tuned in from. If you're here in the U.S. or if you're a U.S. citizen abroad, happy Memorial Day. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily live stream. Everybody's out of the office today except for Ben, TJ, Tim, AJ, me, and Johnny. We're the whole staff's taking the day off, but we got to bring you the content. My name is Kellam. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. We're going to be breaking down. We're coming into the end of May. Feels very exciting right now. Throw one in chat if all the audio and visual works. Throw bull. Put hashtag bull in chat if you're bullish on June. Put hashtag no way if you're a bear. It's all good. We're going to be looking at a bunch of charts today. Some of the context around what's been developing over this month. Going into June, it looks like we're getting a nice little setup. We may have a little special guest pop on the stream live in person today, so we'll see if that happens. But how's everybody feeling? How you doing? I want to shout out everybody here. Shout out to my boy Army Piper in the house. How you doing, my friend? Who else? Who we got in here? We got Najima Foa Terrence. I don't know if I pronounced that anywhere near right, but shout out to you. Crimson Caravan Company, Karen Swigart Harris, Alexandra G. Who else we got in here? Mr. Blake. As I said, I wrote you. I'll be getting y'all set up for the drawing that you won last week. Who else we got in here? Toronto Moranto. Hey man, we're all Moranto sometime. Learning. Mr. Brad Guidell, my main guy. How you doing, my friend? Mike Volmer. Who else we got in here? We got our whole. This is our core crew. B Team Crypto. King Peasant, Crimson Caravan Company, Randy Moore, John 316. I'm George 2. We're all George, right? Shout out to George. It was a pleasure meeting him and chatting with him there in Miami. But Justin Eubanks, how you doing? So everybody, let's get this chat popping today. Let's make this a community day, man. We're going to be going over a lot of charts. We're going to be breaking down the context that is kind of fueling what's kind of happening in the charts. Some of the uncertainty that's been circling around us. Some of the overhead pressure that's been on. Is it starting to be released? Are there reasons? Are there signals? Is there something that says that bulls stand a chance in June? I think there is. We're going to be breaking all that down. I just want to, again, say shout out to everybody for being here on their holiday. If you are an American citizen, if you're not an American citizen, well, shout out to you also, you know, and sorry if I don't call out some of the holidays you have, but big love to everybody. This is the post I did today, and I just want to read this out. Happy Memorial Day. Thinking back to when which I was in the U.S. Air Force, it's like, remembering it's like another like. I feel like, I remember it much like thinking about an old movie. If you're trying to contextualize an old TV show and describe it to somebody, that's how far, I mean, it was so long ago. I was medically retired from following a terrible accident 20 years ago, which I was about 20 years old, but it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. And the reason why I wanted to share this is because sometimes in the moment, dealing with the hardships that we have in life, feels like nothing's going our way. Feels like why me? Feels like we don't even want to acknowledge. And this is humanity. This is all of us. We don't even want to acknowledge the power we have in every moment. We don't even want, sometimes we don't have the ability in that moment of hardship, whether it's a loss of a loved one, a death in the family, loss of a job, loss of a limb, a terrible accident, whatever the case may be, hardships are what form strong people. And in the moment, we all go through the period of grief. We all go through the period of victimhood. But on the other side of it, if you face it, you come out stronger. You come out better. And I truly believe my accident is the best thing that ever happened to me. This is me at a bright-eyed and bushy-tailed 18 years old. I don't even really look like that anymore. This is me after that accident. Yes, that's right. I am like a RoboCop now. I have plates, rods, screws, pins in my pelvis and both my legs and my arms and in my ribs. And I mean, I am like Mr. RoboCop. But you know what? This got me medically retired from the military. I've had a financial safety net my entire life because I am retired from the military. And I've been able to, I had to make a decision when this happened. I had to make a decision. Am I just going to live off this meager, yeah, my rent's going to be paid. I'll never be rich from my medical retirement. But my rent's always going to be paid. I'll always have food on the table. I'll never be homeless. I realized at about 20 years old when this happened, I realized I could either become one of those drunk vets or somebody, trust fund kid kind of deal where you have money, the basics are taken care of so you don't pursue your passions. Or I can take this as a challenge, like a video game, and say, okay, life's going to be a little different now, but I have the ability, I have no excuse of why I am not going after the things I truly care about, the things I truly love. And I've had an absolutely phenomenal life. I mean, I've basically lived a rock star's life. My entire 20s, I toured as a singer-songwriter, all over the nation, wrote a book. The book got bought by a company in New York, moved to New York, was hosting radio shows on Sirius Satellite Radio. This was back in 2008 when I moved to New York. Then ended up getting introduced to electronic music and started DJing and producing music, played all over New York and then all over the country and then all over the world. And in the meanwhile, all this time, I was starting online businesses. I had a boat booking agency in Maui. I've done a lot of things, and it's only because, yes, my accident happened, but it's because I faced my accident, I faced my hardship, learned from it, and came out on the other side and said, well, life is short. I'm going to pursue what I love. And, then when after the pandemic happened, I had an audio business. I was still DJing. I realized, or actually it was during the pandemic, I realized, well, I've been in crypto for so long. I was doing this on the side, all the way back from 2016-ish. I was like, well, I know a great deal I have a lot to learn, but I know a great deal more about this than some of the people I'm watching online. And I'm a person that was born to be on stage. I'm very comfortable with it. I can articulate things well. I want to transition over, and I did that. 2 years ago, I transitioned to the public sector in crypto. Now I've been in crypto and making basically, I don't even want to say supplementing. I was supplementing my income with crypto for a short period of time. But then very quickly, because I was training and I learned trading and I learned to trade, very, very quickly became the dominant income stream in my life. And I thought, well, if I do this, if I'm doing music, yeah, I'm helping people. They can dance, they can let go. But if I do crypto, do it in the public sector, not only am I going to continue doing it on my own private sort of holdings and trading and diving and investing and all that sort of stuff, but I can also do that and kind of fulfill this need to, I don't want to say perform, but I can't really do the music thing and do the crypto thing at the same time, because late nights do not beget early mornings. And I'm up early every day now for crypto, and I couldn't be happier building this community with you all here. A big love to everybody that's watching. I don't know if I've ever shared that story with you, but yeah, that's where I come from. I was military, got retired, traveled the world as a musician for many years while I was also doing online businesses, and crypto just took hold. And let's be honest, crypto is the best opportunity in multiple generations. Investing even now after crypto's already launched, investing in crypto, Bitcoin, and strategically allocating in your portfolio now, because of how fast time moves, because of the exponential nature of technological development since the advent of the computer, it's only accelerated. I really think that investing in crypto now, even now since it's already been launched, not being in 2012, I'm talking about now, 2023, is like investing in the railroad 100 years before it was invented. Why do I say that? Because time was slower back then. We have so much ahead of us in the crypto ecosystem. And I'm proud of everybody that's, even if you've not taken the plunge yet and taken made any purchases or made any allocations, the fact that you're even interested, you are so far ahead of the curve. So let's continue on through this. And there's my grandfather. He's 100 years old, still alive. This is him back during World War II. This is actually, I think, right after World War II. But yeah, he was, big shout out to him. He's a major impact on my life. Such a sweet man. He's 100 years old, and he's sharper and smarter than most people I know most people that I know in general. You talk to him on the phone, other than having a voice of a 100-year-old, you think and how fast, you ask, what were you doing in September 1943? Or what were you doing in January of 1951? It'll be, man, I was hanging out with Steve. We were sailing in a comp. Like he is so sharp. And I just want to shout my grandfather out. Shout out everybody that's in service in any way. And I wrote this in my tweet here. I'm going to exit out of this here. In my tweet here, I said, so I retired over 20 years ago. My grandfather retired over 50 years ago. But I just want to say, be grateful for all those who serve, whoever they serve in the military, or whether they're family members, serving in support, you know. Also be grateful for those that serve at home, those that serve in churches, those that serve as teachers, those that serve in school, and police and firefighters, medical professionals. Be grateful for anyone who serves in their community, because we have to remember, even me doing this stream daily, do I want to make money? You're absolutely right. I want to make money. And so do you. That's why you're here. My point with this stream at BitLab Academy is to build a community of those that help each other, that know how and where to find the tools, and to share strategies that I've learned, and also learn strategies from you, so that we can grow as a community. I want to, this stream specifically is designed, my only intention is to build a community that we can gather and not have trolls, and have the tools and all the things I just said. So it is May 29th, 2023. We're living in the future, but we can harness it today with crypto. So let's go ahead and dive in. We got a lot to talk about today. Shout out to my boy Army Piper here in the chat. He's one of the part of the team with Investing Bros, and he's currently wrapping up his service right now, I think in the Army, and I think he's on terminal leave, meaning he had a bunch of leave that had been accumulated through his service. That basically, when you're going to be exiting, you're still on the payroll until your leave is fully exhausted. So shout out to him. Now I'm just going to go ahead and peek around here on. Is there anything? Shout out to Frankie Candles. Yeah, I got his hat on right now. I love these hats. Yeah, you know what? I think it's time. We're gonna dive in, and I want to shout out. Let me go ahead and pull it up before I share my screen here. I want to shout out. I am sending out I'm sending out a newsletter today. I was debating not streaming this morning since most of the team in an office, but I decided to do it anyway. The only reason I almost didn't was because I have this newsletter that I've been putting together that I'm sending out today. That is going to basically, there's some nice little Easter eggs in there. But make sure you come over to bitlabacademy.com. If you have not yet, check this out. Get involved. If you want to join, click right here. If you click the Start Your Education for free, there's two options that pop up. One is the free, which is the very beginners. What is Bitcoin? What is blockchain, self-custody, and a small grouping of just very beginner stuff. But then on the same page, you'll see next to it, there's a option to sign up for the all access pass. You can also click right up here on the top where mine says my account. If you're not a member, yours will say enroll now. Click that. If you ever have been a member in the past, now listen to me. If you've ever been a member in the past of BitLab Academy, the old stuff, and canceled, you can basically come here to bitlabacademy.com, click on login, and when you log in, even though you've canceled, you still have an account. It's just not being charged. Log in, go to my account after you log in, right here, and then go down to, I don't know if it's going to show you my private information. Okay, good. You can come down to subscriptions right here, click on that, and then you can resubscribe, and you will still be able to, because you previously had a membership, you'll be able to lock in your membership at the old rate, the $29.99. We've got an all-in package that we are releasing today. The information is going to be in the homepage, the newsletter I'm sitting out, and it's essentially, rather than paying $37.99 for the courses, $77 for the trading stack, $9.99 for Ray Pulse, you're going to be able to get all that for under $100. And the link for that's going to be in the newsletter. And I will share that after the newsletter goes out here on the stream. But if you sign up right here, if you just scroll down the page, this pops up. Put in your email, join the Insiders Club. This is where you're going to get all, and I'm going to send out some stuff about some charts. I'm going to send out some updates on what's going on in BitLab. I'm going to send out some context. This newsletter is, it's a great newsletter. It's a free newsletter. And this is where you're going to get all the discounts as well. So go ahead. And you're also entered to win, basically by joining, you get entered to win. We draw once a month for that. Now, what are we talking about today? Is June going to pump? Is it going to have the relief from this bearish uncertainty that we've just been struggling with for this last, okay, let's be honest. January to now has been phenomenal. But when we stare at that 4-hour chart, we're like, man, we're going back down to nowhere. Well, we've got to look at things in context. So let's go ahead and peek at the chart, and then we're going to go through a couple news articles. Let's go right here. Let's go to the 3-day chart. We got to do this regularly to remind ourselves, man, we've been in a down. We're just down. We're going down. Well, let's stop sulking. Let's stop whining. Let's zoom out on this darn chart and let's see. On this 3-day chart, we're in an uptrend. We have broken out of this major downtrend resistance, okay? And we formed higher highs, higher lows in this range, breaking out of this, what felt like never-ending downtrend. And so with this being said, let's look at this. This came right down to the green box. I drew this green box, I think, somewhere when we were around here. Came right down to it. I drew this box. We were somewhere over here. We came right down to it. And the thing I want you to note is on this, if we zoom in on this, we are in this sort of falling channel, okay? We are pushing up, but this doesn't mean it's up, and away from here. We still need to practice caution. We always need to practice healthy risk management because this very well could get rejected and still come down into this blue box area down here. It very well could happen. It could happen in the next couple days. We could have a washout liquidity washout to the downside. There's a lot of people that have been going long. Can we wash out that liquidity, come down here? If you understand the tactics and the strategies that big money, smart money moves in the market, then you're not going to be so taken advantage of with the small bits of price action that happen in the space. And if this does reject here, will the inner bull be disappointed? Absolutely. But you're not going to be crushed because if this rejects from here, you have a strategy in place that you can look to know if you're going to need to be patient, if there's other targets. Because remember, if this rejects from here, and we're looking at this as a possible being somewhere in this region here, right? Whether we're going to have another washout down, or maybe we're here, maybe we're here. Either way, look at what follows. Massive upside. Where we're at, if we come over, let's go to a longer chart. Coming over here to Bitstamp. See, I have so many different charts. I recommend you setting up this here. You set up different lists, have different charts. I have different setups on each one of these charts, and so I can go through and look at stuff in different ways. Now, understanding, if we come here, let's go halving, Bitcoin halving past dates. We're just looking at some of the macro stuff because we're coming into the end of the month. These are the halvings. This is projected about where the next halving is going to be, somewhere March or April of this next year. We can see push up. Let me take my face off. We see this push up, pull back into the halving. Absolute rocket. Push up. It doesn't feel like it, but this was a large push up with about a 60% drop. Another about 80% push up with about a 45% drop. Strong. How big was this one? This was 85% into a, let's see, 85% into about a 30% drop into halving. So even if we do get this push up in June, we still have to contend with, even if we break all the way up here and shatter even the golden pocket and come up and reject somewhere in this region, 55, 56, which I don't think we're going to get that high. I'm not calling for that high even in June. I'm saying that in June, I think it's more likely that we're gonna at least reattempt this 30,000, 31,000 zone. I think if we do make it back up here, there's going to be a lot of momentum in the space. I think that we will likely get all the way up into the 36K region. Maybe not specifically in June, but in June, if we do get the bullish impulse, I do think we're going to retest this $31,000 level, which is, if we measure this would be about, it's only 12%. We've had 12% candles in a day before on Bitcoin. So let's look at this candle right there. This is a 3-day chart, but let's see. On this 3-day chart, we had look at this. On a 3-day chart, we had a 20% move, one candle, boom. So in theory, based on past performance, we very well could overshoot this in one 3-day candle. Do I think that's going to happen? I think that's less likely. I do think that we are going to work our way up, get rejected, and then kind of work our way up to this $31,000 to $32,000 region. And depending on the velocity of the money, depending on the velocity of the actual price movement to the upside, we will either basically find resistance at this level, bounce down, find support, and then rock it up, or maybe even slice right through it. All we can do is plan for what we can see in the shorter term. but also being aware of the macro. So if we know that previous halvings have had these strong impulses with pullback, consolidation, and then rocket ship, strong impulse, consolidation, push up again, then pullback, then rocket ship. Okay, here's the halving, strong, almost mini rocket ship. Because this was a rocket ship, we also had an incredible dump from this, right? And then we had the true rocket post halving. So this is what we want to look at coming into what's going on in June. Now, if we look at this, let's go to the daily chart. Actually, there we go. So there's a couple of things I want to look at. Let's first start on the weekly. On the weekly, look at this. Relative extrema down here. Relative extrema down, meaning this is bullish pressure. All this with this arrow signifies it was the first candle out of the cloud, meaning there's not enough bearish pressure to sustain this move to the downside. Now we have bullish pressure, and look at this on this weekly period. Okay, bullish pressure, and the bullish pressure is aligning with actual bullish price movement. This is actually fairly bullish. This is very bullish. We did not get the blue wave here on the significant movement yet, but if we zoom down a little bit, come down to the 3-day chart, we can see that we are getting the blue wave, and we look at this. We have bullish divergence on the volume right here on the 3-day chart coming right into this. Look at this, green candles on the relative extrema right here. These candles are green because the relative extrema is out. That's what this is. That's why my candles look the way they do. This pink is when the relative extrema is sticking out to the upside, meaning the bulls don't have conviction to the upside. There's bearish pressure on this. Bullish pressure coming down, bearish pressure going up. And you see the bearish pressure coming up resulted in a pull down. Bullish pressure, we got the rocket ship. We have bullish pressure coming down now, and then we got the bullish divergence on the hidden volume, followed by immediately on the same candle, all the momentum indicators that this aggregates on significant movement are signifying that the stochastics are fully reset to the downside. RSI is fairly reset. Other momentum indicators, there's several momentum indicators that we integrate into this that basically exemplify when we're coming into a likely bottom on this time frame. And what we get, bullish divergence on volume. We got the bottom signal here with the blue, and we got two bullish divergences right here, the stochastic and the MFI on the market intelligence. All of these indicators, by the way, are part of the BitLab trading stack, which you can get if you come over here to the bitlabacademy.com, go right here to BitLab indicators. Boom, that's where you go. If you're just getting the indicators, you can use Stack 30 for an additional 30% off the $77. But I'm telling you, get involved. If you haven't yet, come over here to BitLab Academy, sign up for this because there's an all-in package right now that's going to reduce the price of everything down into one package, and you get everything fairly highly discounted. So coming back over here, see all this set up for 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 indicators in this package. And remember, each one of these indicators also aggregates a number of other indicators, but we're getting that 1, 2, 3, 4 setup that I'm telling you is where you get your best signal. Now, the point that I want to make here when we're looking at Bitcoin is we have pushed up and we have this level of resistance. We have this level of resistance, but it's also tied in with the relative extrema already flashing. We can barely see it, but we can tell with this arrow right here that it is suggesting that there's a little bit of hesitation here. It makes sense because we're within this channel. So that makes sense. But what does it mean? Let's come down to the daily. This is what we do. We go down to tighter and tighter resolution for more candles. And we can see on the daily, we got this signal perfect as well. Bullish divergence on the volume, the relative extrema being green. This did not flash here on the significant movement, but we did get the 1, 2, 3, and this bounced it in a zone. This would have been a buy for me. This was a buy for me. And then this is pushing up. Now we're getting a bearish divergence on the MACD histogram. We have the pink candles showing the relative extrema is out, meaning this is moving too fast. It's out of context. It's kind of like when you see price action going way far outside of the Bollinger Bands and then it kind of gets sucked back in. It's similar. It's calculated differently, but it's similar sort of concept. But this makes sense. We're coming into a level of known resistance. So it makes sense that we have the relative extrema showing a little bit of weakness coming into the zone. So what's going to happen here over the next few days? Are we going to be trapped between this line right here, basically this right here? Are we going Are we going to be kind of bouncing in here for a breakout? Are we going to be bouncing in here, false breakout to the bottom and then up? Are we going to come to the downside? If, by the way, if anybody knows, is there a way other than going to smaller time frames or higher time frame, zooming out, to not have your see how my thing chops specifically to where the bars are? Is there a way to change that? Let me know. I'd be greatly appreciated. I want it to be very smooth. I don't want it to snap to grid. So what we're looking at right here on the daily chart, this is a strong bullish impulse. Strong bullish impulse to the upside. Now, if this candle closes even as it is right here, this is potentially a bearish reversal candle, meaning this is a strong expansion in bullish momentum. We could tell by the size of this bullish candle. We're coming into resistance. If this stays at anything like this and doesn't break out, this is looking, we can't trade specifically on this candle, but this is looking not only from the indicators, but the candle itself. This is looking like a shifting gears for the momentum for the bulls. So if the gears are shifting out of the bullish drive, does this suggest that we're going to have either a test back down? And if so, where do we go? Well, let's go ahead and do option F from the bottom to the top. The golden pocket, look at this. The golden pocket, is this right? Yeah, look at this. The golden pocket on this could come all the way back down to 26,790, basically about 27,000, 26,900. This is a golden pocket. If this were to come down, basically have a test of the bullish sentiment, can this be defended? If we're very bullish, let me go ahead and delete this other one. If we're very bullish, price will come down and basically find support right here at this previous high, which is basically in line with where the 382 is, the 38.2%. That's what this is. 38.2% of the way down, and then come back up. This is something that we can watch for. But I want to throw it out of the charts for a second and ask you, have you taken your finger, put it on your mouse, moved your cursor to that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ding that bell? Join us here in the community. We got 150 people in the room, only 63 likes. I'm waking up every morning early, breaking down this stuff for you. The easiest way, the best way you can give back is just hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and dinging that bell. And while we're on that topic, make sure you come over to Academy BitLab, which is the BitLab Academy Twitter page, at Academy BitLab. I think Alexander G will throw it in chat here. And retweet this. Hit that like button and make sure you're following. See that? It says following. If you're not following, you get entered to win. We draw every Friday. If we don't draw on Fridays, then we'll draw another day in the week. But usually we draw on Fridays. We've given away $100. We've given away lifetime memberships. We've given away indicators. We've given away all kind of stuff. Maybe we'll be giving away some merch and some memberships this next time. So I just want to shout that out. Get involved. Now let's go ahead and move through some of the stuff. We got to break down the context of not only the charts, but let's take a peek at some of the things that what's affecting, one, the price pump that we just had. Can it be sustained? Let's go ahead and look at that. So coming here, well, first off, you see this Bitcoin rose to $70,000, new all-time high in just 20 minutes on Pulse Chain. I just brought this up specifically so I could let you all know, when you're scrolling through articles, you've got to not just look at headlines. You also have to understand the context. This does not mean Bitcoin went up to the value of $70,000. This means that on this specific chain, there was some sort of volume anomaly or some gap or something where all of a sudden there was a lack of liquidity, and somebody market sold or market bought or something, and somebody had a sell order, limit order that was up there at 70,000. Something. This does not tie into the true value of Bitcoin. So this is why it's important to look at different charts across multiple different exchanges to get a good understanding of what's going on in the market. So I just wanted to shout that out. This is just some would call this a scam wick. This would have been a massive, just very quick pop up. And somebody out there got probably not their entire order, but some sort of order filled with this sort of anomalous price movement. So let's go here. ARK Invest Kathy Wood says that the U.S. is losing the Bitcoin movement. I would argue it's not the case yet, but we are on pace. If you looked at the momentum of other countries in terms of the regulation, the empowerment, the opening of support and allowance of their citizens to, engage in the markets and support of the businesses and the entities that are. The U.S. is, I mean, if they don't do something, I would argue in that within the next 2 years, likely within the next 12 to 18 months, the U.S. is going to be in a very precarious situation as it relates to our standing on the global economic stage. Because let's think about maybe you didn't take profits at the top when your portfolio is at the highest amount. Well, let's think about when your portfolio had the most gains ever. Think about when a country engages in empowerment and regulation and also investment in the digital asset ecosystem, what that's going to do to their state coffers, to their treasuries, to their ability to, I mean, can you imagine if the US invested, they want to do all this $1 trillion things, they want to raise a debt ceiling, they want to, if they invested that $500 billion or that $1 trillion and waited 3 years, I argue they would never have to tax the US citizens again because of the amount of profits and gain that they would have from that. But no, we want to suppress it because it doesn't sit well with those that are paying our salaries. I'm talking about politicians, those that get them elected because they throw all this money. It's so sad. And moving on from this, we can see this right here. Bitcoin is surging, after Hong Kong's retail trading launch. So this is one of those things. We're coming up on June 1st when these regulations are changing. It's going to allow digital assets. It's basically empowering the digital asset ecosystem for companies. There's hundreds of applications for licenses in Hong Kong, which, basically is essentially on the economic stage being used by China, kind of like an economic testing ground for how they're going to develop their involvement with the digital asset ecosystem. So we're seeing this. Now, is there anything, I had something I wanted to share there, but this is also tied June 1st, right? We've also been looking at this deadline and what's going on with the debt ceiling. Next thing up, boom, debt ceiling. Okay, where is it at? This is actually what I wanted to share first. U.S. debt ceiling deal. This is critical. And not only did they come to a deal, which we'll see if that fully pans out. I think and hope it will. Here's the deal. Let me rephrase. Because I'm a speculator in markets, I hope that they would come to a deal to avoid the debt ceiling default. If I looked at it pragmatically in a long-term view, at some point we're going to need to default or change the paradigm in which our economy runs. Hint, hint. We could be investing in empowering digital asset ecosystem that could really affect the way we deal with all this. But we're probably not going to do that as a country here in the U.S. But the fact that this debt ceiling goes forward basically kicks the can down the road. And every time we kick the can down the road, the can gets much bigger. And at some point is going to crush a lot of people. And so the fact that they came to a decision about this, an agreement, this deal by nature also blocks the 30% Bitcoin mining tax. So this was a wonderful, wonderful thing because not only is Bitcoin US falling behind in the way that we're engaging with Bitcoin in the digital asset ecosystem. They were also talking about mining, exorbitantly taxing miners. It blows my mind. And I'm so happy that this was part of the deal here. The proposed digital asset mining energy tax has reportedly been taken off the table, according to U.S. Congressman Warren Davis. And part of the reason this is, and I want you all to realize this, we all need to do a better job, and it feels futile, it feels fruitless sometimes. We need to make our voices heard. You need to call your congressman. You need to call your senators. You need to call your House of Representatives, your state legislatures. You need to make it known and not be a dickhead. And I had to use that word because if you're calling and harassing these people, you're driving them further on the other side of the fence. This goes for anybody in your life, your friends, family, neighbors, congressmen. You need to attract people with honey. Don't tell them why they're so wrong. Be vocal on the merits and the value and the opportunities that it brings, not driving them further away by saying, you're an idiot if you don't. No, that just makes somebody go, yeah, well, you know what? It becomes tribal. And that's not what this is about. This is about community and growth. So we need to all be more vocal, but we need to be vocal in a fruitful way rather than fruitless. So I just want to empower everybody to do that. Now, the next thing I want to show up here is, this is from Arthur Hayes. He was a CEO of BitMEX. The debt ceiling, bank crisis, set for powder keg explosion. So what is he saying here? I don't think we get up to 70K this year, but well, apparently we already have, according to Pulse Chain. But I think next year is when we cross that barrier. So he's saying that we're not going to get up to 70K this year. Does that mean he's bearish? Does that mean he's not, really? No, I mean, it's just a realistic look on the market. If we come back over here, shout out again to my papa. He's such a cool guy. Papa and my grandma, Mimi, living in Maui. Come over here. This is, remember, I put this out months and months ago. This is what I was looking at for 2023. Now, if we're looking at 2023, that would be this area right here. Strong push up. And the reason I put this as a target is because in previous cycles, this is a point that at some point gets reached. Whether it's this far ahead of the next halving or closer to it, I do think we're going to come up to this level. This you can see right here, $48,000 to $50,000 level. This is a golden pocket from this entire move from top to bottom. You draw your fib from the top to the bottom. And this is where the golden pocket is for this move. So at some point we are going to come up here and get rejected. Do I think we're going to do it in 2023? I do think we're going to do it in 2023. Do I think we're going to do it in June? No, I don't think we're going to do it in June. I think we're going to, this is exactly what has just happened. We pushed up to this $31,000 level. Remember, I drew this back at either the end of, I think I drew this at the end of December, and then I ended up releasing it on Twitter in January once the price action moved a little further. But I already had this drawn out. And this $31,000 level, why did I pick this level? Well, look at previous price action. Boom, lows, lows, lows. You see this? This is exactly where we got rejected. Looking at the Bitcoin price, where do we get rejected? Look at this. See this right here? See this right here? See this right here? This is exactly the same thing. So by looking left on the charts, which we have to do regularly, we can identify levels of interest of where we could see that's exactly what happened. Now on this suggests that the pullback may come down because the golden pocket here, the golden pocket from this low all the way up, if we went up to this level, this 31.5, 31,000, the golden pocket was down here about the $21,000 level. We did not get down there. Remember, we still very well can. I think we're going to have a bullish June. Doesn't mean we will. I'm still prepared. This is what I was talking about. If we go right here, option F from the bottom to the top, see this golden pocket right here, right about $21,000. Price action can still work its way down to get down to these levels. So we got to still be aware. As bullish as I am and wanting this to break out, I'm still aware and I'm still planning for if price comes down here. And if this does come down here, let me draw that again. Option F, Alt F if you're on PC, gives you the fib. We could see that this is right where this area, this bounced as well. This, if we pulled all the way down here, this would suck for our psychologies, right? For the way we feel. It would suck for the sentiment of the market. But those that are prepared will see this as opportunity, because not only would this be pulling back down here, this would challenge a lot of analysts, because this would technically still be a higher low, but at this level, we would be breaking the short-term holder cost basis. So we got to be aware of that. We have to, there's a lot of different things at play here, and the waters are murky right now because we're looking at stuff with the economy. Let's actually come over here. The markets are closed today, but let's take a look, because we haven't done this in for a while. Things are murky. I was looking at this. I was on a great Spaces yesterday, by the way. If you haven't yet, come over here to my page. If you haven't yet, come give me a follow at Kelly Kellam, Kelly Kellam. Share a lot of stuff on here. But there was this right here. This was a great discussion. This is quite long, but I mean, it was me, Tom Crown, Crypto Face. I'll actually tell you, it was a lot of people that hopped on and spoke. But me and Tom Crown and Crypto Face spoke for a while. I mean, this was, I mean, there's people from, some people just gave a comment. Some people, it was all basically plans and strategy for how to manage trades and psychology and how to just tackle this market. There was a lot of great people that tuned into this. It was a very empowering, wonderful thing. So shout out to Wolf. You can find them at Wolf_financial. Excuse me. So coming back over to the markets, when I was on that call, I didn't end up getting to say it because there was just so much that we were talking about, but I was looking at this, man, excuse me, I got the hiccups. Okay, everybody, I'm doing this for my boy Brad Guidell. He said he likes it when I call out the stretch because it makes us all remember to pull our hunchbacks away from leaning over the monitor. Gotta stretch out your back. All right. My problem is my camera's a little low today, so I have to scrunch, otherwise my head's up here. So when I was looking at this, I realized, let's look at where price is right here. Okay, let's move our cursor across and see how far back. We're at the same level we were on April 27th, 2022. Same level we were February 23rd, 2022. Same level we were all the way back May 14th, 2021. It's almost like things are just feeling so choppy right now. Now coming over to the NASDAQ, we can see, Dow Jones, not NASDAQ. Go off this. We can see where the price is all the way back here. This is November 2022, August 2022, August also, all the way back. Look at this, all the way. Where's that line at? March 9th, 2022. Things are just things. The market has been getting good news and bad news, and this is for people that trade. And I would argue that most people that are in the market should not trade because they get hijacked by their emotions. But for those people that trade and truly have a system and truly understand, have been playing this volatility the whole time. They've been loving this market. Now it's just very stressful is not the word I want to look for. It's been very uncertain about all the things that are happening in these markets. Now, if we actually come over here and look at the dollar index, looking at the dollar index, okay, let's go double click on this, minimize. If you ever have multiple charts on indicators like I do right here, it doesn't matter what it is. You can have market cipher, you can have RSI, stochastics, MACD, whatever your setup is. If you double click, it'll go just to the chart and minimize those other indicators. Just a quick tip for you. And if you hit Option or Alt, depending on if you're PC or Mac, and click on the screen, that's how you go in and out of your multi-screen view. And if you don't have it set up, you go right up here in the top right. Here's probably, if you don't have it set up, it'll look like this. But you can set up, depending on what package of TradingView you have, to have a multi-chart view like this. This is how I have mine set up, so it's very easy to navigate. Now the Dixie, we talked about this the other day with Bill Noble. We had this parabolic increase as we're having quantitative tightening over all of 2021 into 2022. And we can see that this just went up until it's basically broken down. Now, this is now currently where we're at right now. This is forming a W pattern, which is a little bit of a cause for concern. But where we're at with the debt ceiling, where we're at with potential money printing at some point coming in, there's a lot of different things that are going to be happening very soon that I do think is going to nullify this sort of potential reversal, this double bottom setup right here, this W, which if we were to break this level right here, that shouldn't be horizontal, but let me, we were to break this level right here where this high is, which is all the way up here to $1.05, then this would be very, very bad omen for risk assets, including the digital asset ecosystem. But as it stands right now, we do have a bit of a trend line right here. If we want the risk assets to perform well and not have a bunch of uncertainty just looming overhead, we want the dollar to get suppressed here. We want money to be coming out of dollars. Why? Because if it's coming out of dollars, there's a good contingent of that is going back into assets. So if this is coming out of dollars, what will likely happen, I think, is this will get rejected. Something like this come up, and then actually, let me do that again. Kind of like this. Something like this. That would be very good for our digital asset ecosystem. Now, coming back here, let's go ahead and finish the other stories. I just wanted to, okay, so this is also good. We're coming in, 2023, the stage is gonna start getting set for the presidential election. Next year is an election year. And this right now, data shows 84% require Bitcoin support to vote for a presidential candidate. So the zeitgeist, the winds are shifting. People are saying we want something new. We don't trust banks anymore. And this kind of ties in with this right here. This bank crisis and debt ceiling issue. The mismanagement of the budgets and the US taxpayer dollars and just our government in general. It's starting to become very apparent, and people are becoming aware of it. We have social media. We have, all these YouTube channels, news pundits, just Twitter. Excuse me. People are getting smarter, becoming more aware of what's going on with the mismanagement of our government. And so Bitcoin, people are starting to slowly realize in larger groupings of people that it's an alternative, trustless system. And if you guys don't know what trustless it means, a bank, you have to trust the bank. If you're gonna, if you're gonna go, if you move to a new town and they have no bank you've ever heard, or you're trying to hire somebody like a lawyer, or you're trying to have somebody manage your money, any of these things, trust is required for you to do that, right? You want to know what their licenses are. You want to know what their what their reviews are, what their history is, what their, all these things. With Bitcoin, it's trustless because the way that it is programmably designed, software engineered, inflation coded in a programmable way that reduces every 4 years, AKA every 210,000 blocks. You don't need the trust in the licenses anymore. This is why it's trustless. Because it's trustless, it means that it actually has more weight for it to be trusted. And banks and governments and politicians, this is nice that we're seeing that people are going to be, there's going to be a need to get behind and stand in shoulder to shoulder with Bitcoin as a politician. Does that mean it's going to replace a dollar? Maybe it will in 50 or 80 years. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. And the governments around the world need to realize that Bitcoin doesn't need to necessarily replace your current system of, monetary, your entire monetary system, but it's stupid not to use it in parallel with anything that you're doing as a government and as an individual. I don't want to say anybody's stupid for not being involved with anything, because this is not financial advice. Keep having a cough. Sorry about that. But it's silly not to look at something that's the best performing asset in history and has so much money involved with it already. And the growth adoption rate, all the data you'd use to look at any asset, like what I'd really like to do, and I think it'd be interesting, is to take information. I guess people would know what it was immediately. I was going to say, take information on charts and not show what the asset is, and ask different financial professionals who think they don't like Bitcoin if they would invest in that asset. Every single one of them would say yes until they found out it was Bitcoin. I'm talking about for people that are dead set against it. I mean, the fundamentals, it's all, governments are going to be getting involved with this. Now, this is the other thing. We have a huge amount of millennials that are coming into the workforce now, that are actually far enough along in their workforce as well, that are, really more specifically looking at retirement and 401k plans and savings at banks. And they're, the millennials are part of the digital revolution. Millennials have had computers in their home, a lot of them, since they were born. First generation, right? First generation to have that. So there's a lot more of a digital focus and participation in the digital ecosystem. And part of that is NFTs. Part of that is Bitcoin. Part of that is, all these different aspects of the digital asset ecosystem. And Gesundheit. So there's going to be, a shift in winds that we're going to see over the next 5 to 10 years of people allocating more and more, especially when we see an actual ETF, launched here in the US, not a futures ETF, but an actual ETF, like whether it's Grayscale or whoever it may be. This would be, there's going to be a lot of liquidity flowing into that. So, and think about it. That's kind of the kind of money we want flowing into Bitcoin, because money that's flowing in from retirement and pensions and all this sort of stuff, exposure from ETFs, right? that liquidity flowing in, that's money that people are planning on holding for a long time. That's strong hands. That's what we want. So there's a lot going on in the market today. I'm going to take a step out here from my computer screen. Going to go ahead and look at chat here. We got anything in the chat? Anything? How's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing? I just want to see. Yeah, Alexander G, thank you. I remember seeing you in there. You were in the space the whole time. I appreciate that. Man was saying how June 1st is Hong Kong will be able to apply for licensing, not immediately trade. I'm curious to see how it plays out too. So no, Crimson Caravan Company. Yes, you're right. There's a lot of well, there's already been applications flooding in. There's over, I think it was about 500 applications. Let me go ahead and Google that real quick. Hong Kong. Licenses. I want to look at last week. South China Morning Post. I don't know. Here we go. Crypto exchanges. Crypto exchanges are flocking to Hong Kong. Hong Kong is rich in tycoons and well-capitalized family offices that could fund crypto firms moving into the city. Okay, enough ads. I don't know where I saw it, but there was like 500 applications. Swiss registered Gate Group, the firm behind Gate.io, is on board. So Gate Hong Kong. Who else we got? OKX, BitMEX as well. It's interesting. There's going to be a lot, but you're right, Crimson Caravan Company. We can't look at June 1st and think there's all of a sudden going to be a mass flood of liquidity in the space because everybody in Hong Kong is going to be buying. However, the stage is set for things going up. Now, the other thing I wanted to share, let me see. I shared this yesterday. It was from Ron Powell. This right here. This is Bitcoin year over year. This is global, not US, but global M2. So the money supply. And what I want you to notice is you see how this is flat right here? You see how the blue line is going up? This led Bitcoin moving up. See how this is falling? Bitcoin still came up, but then this started falling and so did this. This started, these kind of moved in tandem. This started falling here. Bitcoin was still kind of pushing up and then sharp decline. This right here, look at this. This is 2022 into 2023. Sharp bullish divergence of money supply, global money, global liquidity increasing right here. We had the small pullback and then look at this sharp increase. So there's a lot of things on the table right now as to what's going on in the markets. So can we talk about BRC20? I want to know your thoughts about it. Well, I'll tell you about my thoughts. My thoughts on BRC20 are this. I had a long conversation when I was in, let me see if I can find it. When I was in Miami with the Rational Root, we were so cheap. We were such nerds. We were literally in Miami sitting on the beach at night, like a bromance, for like 2.5 hours talking about global policy, liquidity in global markets, where we think the market was going this year into 2024. And also we talked a bit about the ordinals, the BRC20, but he did have a chart, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. But essentially, my thoughts on BRC20 are this. It's a digital asset ecosystem that's supposed to be decentralized, AKA like the perfect set of democracy. Why do I say perfect? Because in order to participate in that ecosystem, in order to participate in Bitcoin, you are choosing to participate in something outside of the shattered and absolutely despicable monetary policy system that we have in whatever government you're in. Now, the thing about BRC20 is, does it change a little bit the dynamic of what's happening on the Bitcoin network? Yes, but things evolve over time. And much like the digital asset system is putting pressure on the banking industry, adapt or die. That's what the nature of this hyperbolic exponential increase in technological advancements that have been happening, you've got to adapt or die in any niche that you're in the world. Unless you're a toenail cutter, I don't think they're going to be designing AI bots to go trim toenail. Maybe they will, but my point being is things adapt or die. And I think with Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin awareness and what's the word I'm looking for? Not awareness. Hype. There's like positive sentiment. You know, Bitcoin has been sitting in this sort of range. People are frustrated with it. And, you know, the advent of SegWit and what was the other one? SegWit, Taproot. It wasn't meant to give the foundation to build out BRC20, but it happened. And it's actually brought a lot of awareness. And it forced the Bitcoin network and the miners to realize, one, there is a way for them to still be profitable after the last Bitcoin was mined on the basically fees based on them still processing the transactions and getting paid in fees, which is essentially what happened because fees went up through the roof because all of a sudden there was a huge amount of congestion on the Bitcoin network that allowed for miners to be more profitable in a time when they weren't being very profitable. So it provided that, but then it also provides a little bit more of an ecosystem within and brought new awareness to Bitcoin. So I do think it's a good thing. I do think there's got to be some boundaries, some stops in place. There's got to be, and it's got to be voted on as a community, and the miners will be a big part of that. But I think we need to adapt or die. But with that being said, I'm going to I'm going to step away from the chair. I'm going to change my shirt. I'm going to change my shirt to being white, and then I'm going to come right back.
Oh man. Hi, I'm Kellam. Welcome to BitLab Academy. We're going to talk about charts. We're going to talk about crypto. We're going to talk about lines and patterns and trends and charts. All right. So wait, what? Just make it big. You're confusing me here. Okay. Fancy pants.
Everybody, if you don't
fancy
know,
pants.
This is Mr. AJ Writes Crypto. I said,
hi, Brad.
Yeah.
What's poppin', dude? Thanks for having me on. All right, so wow, you got what is this volume profile?
It's a Mesopic Vision.
Mesopic Vision
and,
feather?
No, you don't understand. Check this out.
I don't understand.
Check this out. Not only does it do this, like I'll show you on Ben token because only reason is because I saw it on here the other day. When you put on,
what is a Mesopic feather?
It's like a VPVR or a fixed range.
Yeah.
So with the Mesopic, you have the feather, which is just a fixed range, which you can pick. And as the chart moves forward, it moves with it. Or you can turn this off and you have the full volume range. But the cool thing about it isn't just the volume profile. It's let's go down to like the one.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it gives order blocks too?
It creates order blocks to show where there's a likely support or resistance and where price action will
right.
very likely.
So is this BitLab?
Yeah.
Got it.
It's not released yet.
Oh, okay.
But it will be soon.
All right. I run order blocks myself, but I'm not going to kill the enemy, the competitor. But I do like BitLab indicators. I've used them more and more as time has gone on. But with crypto, I always tell people this. I always say, like, do what makes you comfortable. Like Drew and I had this conversation the other day. He said, you know what, AJ, I'm sick of looking for shorts. I'm sick of trying to like look for this pattern and this pattern. I'm just going to just trade longs. I don't know what it is. I like finding longs. It makes sense to me going long. It confuses me when I want to go long and short. So I'm just going to stick to what I know. And that is literally the bread and butter to any crypto strategy, is to stick to what you know. And I'm going to put a chart in. I was just talking. Oh. Fancy pants, bro. Fancy. Yeah, so just do with what you're comfortable with. So like with my indicators, like I will use BitLab if I'm about to do a big position and I want to find some confluence with what I'm looking at on my other indicator set. But basically what I'm saying is once you find something that works for you, something you're comfortable doing, stick with that, because you only have to be really good at one thing to be a profitable trader. So the first thing I'm going to look at here is a chart I've been trading off and on and off and on all year long, is render. Bada bada bop. Last night I got in a render short at 270. Where is that at? It was a little right there, somewhere in there. It was very late. I did a sleeper last night. Bop. And right now I am up 7%. Oh, it's fallen since yeah, very nice. Very nice. I nailed it. So what was I looking for here? How did I get into this trade? So basically I was looking at the 4 hour, and I mean, render has just been on a tear all year long. For the love of God, this coin can pump. So, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that volatility, right? And I was just kind of watching it. I was watching it. Like I have like probably 10 charts I cycle through every day, and I can probably find a trade with one of them, especially what's going on. And I saw that render pumped super up. It pumped really good last week. I mean, let's just look from like from Saturday the 20th to that local high in 6 days. I mean, 24% in 6 days. I mean, that's what we're talking about. That's free money. That's printing money, right? But then, if you kind of zoom in on, say, like the 1 hour, I saw that it was a lower high here, and I just kind of went with that idea. And then I saw this come up, and then I waited a little bit too long. As you see, I got in at 270. So once I saw this start to roll over, I realized that was a lower high. I could have got in probably like 275. I actually pulled the trigger at 270. I'm still in the trade now. So now to manage the trade, I mean, right now I'm just going to ride it out for the time being. If you kind of want to look at like the 5-minute chart, it has fallen down, since I woke up this morning. So this is one of those situations where, I did it with 5x leverage. So I'm up, probably what, 35% at this point. So basically I could easily just take profits here, or I'm just going to ride it out. I normally have a level already predetermined, but I basically what I did, I opened the trade and then I put the stop loss above that high, like at 277 right there. So if I was wrong, I was wrong. Let's see what that would have been. So yeah, boom to boom. So yeah, I took that would have been that was actually a terrible stop loss in my opinion, but hey, I would rather have a stop loss than not have a stop loss if I was wrong. But at the same time, like these are situations where you see like the structure I was looking for a short. I saw that it pumped a lot, so it has to kind of come down eventually. It needs some time to breathe. It put in a lower high, and boom, there's the idea. So I went short with that, and now I'm just gonna try to ride it out, and then I'll probably squeeze out sometime today. I kind of feel like it is kind of trying to find some sort of level here to make. I mean, it could. The right time to sell could have been 4 minutes ago, so you never know. So that was just a little explanation on a trade that I did this weekend. Another chart I always have my eye on is AGIX Singularity Net. A lot of you know I like to trade this chart. I'm not in a trade with this chart right now, but once again, this could be another short idea. Here we are. It puts in a high, puts in a lower high after running up a little bit. So I kind of feel like landing somewhere in this range like this. If we kind of go back and find like previous levels, like this level here, if you like draw a line across, that is like a previous floor. And then from where we are now, if we shorted to that level, I mean, that right there is 3%, with 10x leverage, that's 30%. With 5x leverage, that's 15. So these are like the taking little bites, little chunks, little ways to add your way up. You don't have to make $1 million in one trade, but if you make like a bunch of trades and win $500 to $1,000, I mean, that's how it's done, a little bit more strategically. So this is something this level of, I actually have the same line drawn on my computer, and I'm looking at this level as an important SR level because, if you kind of go back in time, so this was the ceiling. It actually tested it here. It went over here, but went back down. It tested it again here and went back up. So this is one of those levels it's going to flirt with this level. I would be likely to guess that if we ran a volume profile, it's probably close to the point of control. So this one. Oh, wow, that's a really wild looking indicator. So it's actually above it, but it's pretty interesting. I am not familiar with this indicator at all. Yeah, I know. I just did do the colors make a difference? Like the red, is that where more of the volume is?
Yeah, it's higher volume nodes.
It's a heat map. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So I always keep an eye on AGIX. Always keep an eye on render. I don't have any other trades open at the moment, but I just do want to check on another coin that I have been. So I heavily researched Quant last week. I always have liked the idea of Quant. I know the community is super cool. But I did a price prediction department video on Quant that came out yesterday. If you haven't checked that out, be sure to check that out. Very interesting video, interesting community. This is one of those projects that, I mean, like I say in the video, like a lot of coins, when you're trying to do like moon math with a coin, right? The problem is that the supply is a moving target. Like coins like Doge prints 14 million coins every day. So the market cap it's chasing that supply. You know, that's why I don't think Doge will ever, at least this next bull market, I don't think Doge will put in a new all-time high because of how much it inflates. But Quant, thank God, has a fixed supply. It has some people say that all 14 million are in circulation, but all my research says that 12 million are in circulation and the foundation owns the other 2 million. Regardless of what it actually is or is not, it has less coins in its supply than Bitcoin, and it's currently priced at $109. I bought a bigger bag of Quant around $97, $98. In the past little while, it has pumped, you know what, 11% in the past 3 days. Quant is like the king of interoperability. It's not exactly a blockchain. It uses an operating system called the over ledger that is basically the highway between blockchains, and it's partnered with a bunch of like cross-border payment type systems. It's like a CBDC builder, basically. It's a distributed ledger. I would say so. Yeah. But Quant is one of those coins that it has, because even if you look at the last bull market, it had the same exact supply now as it did then, and it went to $428. Right now it's at $109. I think it's probably going to do much better than it did last bull run, considering the partnerships it has and how it's working with the Bank of England to create CBDCs. And some people are like, oh my God, why would you buy something that's creating CBDCs? You're evil. Someone actually commented that in the video. But the way I see it is that, look, like CBDCs are going to happen whether we like it or not. No matter what we want is out of our control, it's happening. Okay. So would you rather complain about it or be upset about it, or realize that VCs and governments are excuse me, let me reword that. Venture capitalists are more likely to invest in coins that are backed by governments because they're safer and they'll be like the teacher's pet when regulation day comes. So they're safer picks. So is Quant my favorite coin in all of crypto? No. Is Quant going to pump harder than any other coin? Probably not. But do I think that this is a safe pick for like an easy 5-10x pick? 100%. So I actually gave Quant a really bullish price prediction. One of my more bullish price predictions. I try to keep it super realistic and not go too far with the moon math. But I gave Quant a pretty serious pick for this bull run. I'm gonna probably have 1/5 of my long-term bag is probably going to be accumulated into Quant. Yeah, I bought some, like I said, at 98 cents. But this isn't a day trade to me. This is a wait a while buy. So, and I always try to really make sure I separate, like my render trade, definitely a day trade. I'm going to take that money, rinse, repeat. This kind of trade is something I think it's more of a position. Exactly. So
let me ask you then, come over here. Let me ask you, because the title of this video, we haven't dove into this yet.
Okay.
What would be, if you looked at Bitcoin, alt enter, what would you say is your end of June target, a realistic end of June target for Bitcoin?
Okay, hold on. There. Okay.
Give us a bullish and a bearish case.
Well, I do some fishing here. Well, if we get rejected and we stay in this channel here, the problem is that the long-term channel runs out too. Because if this channel has been going on since the beginning of the year, and so even at the bottom of that channel, the macro channel is at, so it's either going to have to break down out of that channel or break out of this temporary one. So bullish case, end of June, 30,500. Bearish case, oof. That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to look over this on my chart that I understand more, but I'd say 24, somewhere over here.
Are you leaning
because
bullish?
all I'm saying.
Bullish or bearish?
So if we kind of end up in this channel, we stay in this channel. Right around here is the end, is the beginning, July, right here. So 24, 5, something like that. And that's if we stay in this down channel. But what I'm saying is that there's a point where the macro channel from the beginning of the year, this channel here, and we are heading down, but what's going to break? The mini channel we're in or the macro channel we've been in since the beginning of the year? That's the question you're asking me to answer. And to be honest, I don't know. You know what I mean? But to be completely honest with you, I'm leaning more bearish. Yeah. I don't think we're going to see any like significant OMG blast offs until like Q4. I don't know. I think that, well, the interest hikes are important. Interest hikes super important. The debt ceiling conversation, all the macro regulation, all of those conversations are things that are out of my control. And we can look at a chart all day long, but we're not Jerome Powell. We're not senators that, make decisions for everybody. And a lot of those types of decisions are going to play a role. Like if they keep rising up interest rates, look what happened in 2022 when interest hikes just went out of control. The stock market got punished, but consequently punishes Bitcoin. No matter how much TA you did, unless you're Jerome Powell, you didn't know that was coming. So there is a point where I always kind of feel like TA is really good for like predicting something to happen in the next day or the next week. I've always found that trying to do TA years out, you can make good estimations but I will never say anything for sure. You know what I mean? Even like what we're doing price prediction department, like I love doing price prediction department, but that's why I'm always giving a wide range and I'm being realistic because you can do the best estimation as you possibly can for sure, but you also have to realize that there are factors out of your control that you could never figure out by looking at a chart. So yeah, but still, like I said, it's going to come down to what channel wins, the ongoing macro or the short-term down channel. But boom, so there you go. Let me read how much they hate me in the comments here. I don't like Star Wars or D&D, so there's that. I'm not a nerd, duh. Okay, they like me. Love it. Peace out, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man.
What's your answer to that question?
I think we're gonna get a bullish impulse in June. I do. I think we're gonna get a bullish impulse.
So you're saying we're gonna bounce out of this channel and stick to that one?
I think we're gonna get a bullish impulse in June that will result in being a bull trap. So
that makes sense.
And part of the
35 reject.
I think no. I think we're gonna kind of test in this sort of region up here.
So hit the 3-day chart really fast. Because what concerns me is that we still haven't broke that.
Yeah.
The top of that.
Yeah, 32.5.
32.5 has been like since forever. We can't break that.
Yeah, that's May. Basically, yeah, May 31st, 2022.
If you break that, I'll say the word bull run.
Yeah. But you see, guys, and by the way, if you haven't yet, make sure you go over. I'll pull them up right now. Make sure you go over and follow AJ Writes Crypto It's right here. You can find them with these letters. AJ Writes Crypto. And you got your hit thing. Mine still hadn't appeared.
You're BitLab, dude.
But you see, he and I have differing viewpoints, and that's okay. And that's how you grow. That's how you learn. That's how you see different stuff. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. It's good to have people challenge what you're looking at. So one, it helps you have good risk management, and two, make sure that you're not just blinded by, myopically looking at one sort of eventuality in the charts, because there's never one eventuality in the charts ever. So throw one in chat if you liked AJ. We'll definitely be having him back on periodically. Anytime I can pull him away, I bring him down here to do a little bit of TA. But we could see, we are very, very much so, despite any bias, we are in a channel that's trending to the downside. So we do need to be aware of that. And we talked about this before. We had this perfect setup with the relative extrema here being out, leading into the bullish divergence on the volume, leading into the floor sort of signal, this local trend floor, which is blue. And we did bounce in the bullish divergences right here. And we did bounce perfectly off of that, but we immediately found resistance, and we got up to the top side of this range very quickly. But we're seeing that happen each time. Strong impulse, breakdown, strong impulse. Are we going to break down? And if we do break down, do we break down to this sort of trend line support, which is essentially this right here, from this point to this point, projected out? Are we going to come down? Is price going to come down into basically back into this sort of region here, which would be basically the 786 of this full move from this low to this high? That's what this fib is right here. The 786. If we broke all the way back down to the golden pocket, that'd be great. Still be bullish. 26.8, 26.9. We broke down only to the 382, which is 26, basically 26.5 in that area, 26.4, 480. That would be very bullish. If we drop down and lose this level, each level we go down, it becomes more likely we're going to be bearish. So that's what we're looking at when we're looking at the charts here. I want to just go ahead and scroll through chat. What's up, Jeanette? How you doing? Getting a bunch of ones here. We got Shirley Sound, Jake Mueller, a couple people that have come in late. Granny's Garden. How's everybody doing? Let's go ahead and continue on here with some analysis of some other coins. Cardano has been tricky. We had the rising wedge that broke down bearishly, as it should from this price pattern, but it broke down into a falling wedge, which did break out bullish, that got rejected at the 786, came back down, have a new low from here, but now we're back up. This is just liquidity chasing, people getting eaten alive here. But now what I do like about Cardano is not only has it pushed up, it's pulled back currently at the lows of this line right here. And if we lose this level, I do think that this is just going to be a bit of a fake out. But as it stands right now, option T, we do have option T. I don't even need to do the bottom one because the bottom one is right here. We got a very, very wide broadening channel here. This just looks very choppy. This is very red. We can see here. This is on the 4 hour. Let's go to the 3 day. Okay. So look at this 3 day. Green on the bullish divergence. Sorry, green on the relative extrema. We finally get the bullish divergence here, and it was enough for a move up. But now we're on the small move up. We're immediately pink again, which is a relative extrema flashing, saying this is unhealthy bullish movement. Now on the 3 day, we don't have, this is neutral on the momentum indicator. So let's come down to the daily, already red. Okay, let's come down to the 4 hour, very red. We've had some bullish, relative extrema, basically lack of bullish health coming up. We're getting rejected. Let's come down to the 1 hour. Okay, now on the 1 hour, we're having a small pullback. This is giving me, on the 1 hour, this is giving me some hope, but I'm not going to trade on this hope. This is pulling back to this level, and this is all green candles, meaning these green candles showing there's a lot of lack of health of bearish movement, meaning there's underlying bullishness here as this has come down. What I would like to see is this to flash blue. So let's get better resolution. Let's go down to 30 minutes. So look at this. We flash blue, got a little move up. Flash blue. Are we going to get a move up? Well, we do have 4 bullish divergences here on the market intelligence here, BitLab Trading Stack. That we have the green candle showing we need to look for other signs. a little choppy, and then so green candles, and then we did go sideways. Green candles, are we going to go sideways and fall, or are we going to bounce from here? Well, we are getting 4 bullish divergences. So this is our 1. We got our 2 green candles that led into it. We have a blue wave here on the significant movement. Are we going to get a bullish divergence? Because look at this. We got a bullish divergence on the, I'm talking about on the hidden volume. BitLab hidden volume. Got a bullish divergence right here on the volume. Boom, spike up. Bullish divergence right here. Attempt down and then spike up. So if we get a bullish divergence on this, this would be much more clear that this support line is going to hold because we have all the other signals that are suggesting that it might. Things are being a little bit follow the leader, but we are seeing, look at this. We did have a bit of a trend line here on, on Cardano. Support above it. Support tracking. We've fallen through this. So is this an omen, or is this just a washout to the downside, bear trap, only to continue the upside? We're not going to know this yet, but looking at this, looking at this on, let's go ahead and delete this. Looking at this on this time frame, this is looking, if we zoom in on it, this is looking a bit like a W. Boom, 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 boom. So is this going to play out? If this is the case, then what we need to do is we need to break this sort of zone right here, which is essentially the previous high. We need to break this. Not only break this, I would argue we'd need to break this trend line here. We need to get back above 38, 39 cents, but we have to contend. This is uncertain territory. As soon as Cardano breaks this, we still have another major trend line right above us right here, which is this point projected out. So even if we break this 39 cent level, 39, this would be 39, 38.6, 39. This is still right above us at 39.7. So we really need to confidently have some velocity and some momentum and volume that is following this as this goes up. It can't just be moved up because there's a short squeeze and no volume. If this moves up quickly and there's no volume, you can be looking for a short because this is likely going to be coming back down. So that's what I'm seeing on Cardano. Let's look at Avalanche. Avalanche, kind of similar to Cardano here. Different shape, but moved up and right at this level, this sort of kind of double bottom, but not, because we have a much lower low here. It's actually not that much lower, but on this chart, we can see this is very, very obvious lower low. We're getting this sort of down, further down, up, kind of a broken W shape, double bottom, but this is a lower bottom, so not really. Point being here is the bulls, the bears are really trying, and the bulls are overtaking them, but we're getting rejected at all these previous highs. Previous, right here, same previous high, rejected below it. This did break above it with a wick, but we immediately got rejected. This is starting to broaden here, as you can see. What do I mean by broaden? I mean, this is trading in a low range, larger range. So this is very small, a 4-hour broadening wedge. This is angled to the upside. So this is leading me to believe, in conjunction with the significant movement being red, that this is a bearish pattern, because this is broadening, angled to the upside. We're getting bearish divergences. And look at this. This is dominating with a lot of pink candles, meaning this is unhealthy move to the upside. And then we get the bearish momentum overvalued signal here with the reg wave on significant movement. If I were to bet, this could have another move up. If I had to bet with this bounce to the upside, likely we get rejected below this high and then probably test back down. But things are very choppy right now, so we need to be aware of that. XRP, and I'll do optimism here. Everybody throw in chat. I'll do some Turbo TA here. Throw your... Hey, Kelly, what's going first time getting to watch live? Oh, Desert Crypto, what's up? Welcome to the live stream, my brother. Everybody throw some altcoins in. I'll do Turbo TA here the last 5-6 minutes. If you have not yet, make sure you come over to the BitLab Academy Twitter page, which is @AcademyBitLab. Make sure you're following. Hit that retweet. Hit that like button. You get entered to win. It could be money. Could be lifetime membership, which is a multi-$1,000 prize. Could be memberships to the indicators. Could be merchandise. We basically randomly draw every Friday. We've given away a lot of stuff. And if you haven't yet, also make sure you come over to bitlabacademy.com. Check us out here. The indicators that I use almost I only trade with the BitLab trading stack. It's right here, BitLab indicators. Click on that. You can use stack 30 or give me 30 for 30% off. There is something I'm putting out this afternoon from the newsletter on BitLab Academy. I just want to shout that out. It's going to be an all-in package for the indicators, the courses, and the Ray Pulse indicator as well. All of it for under $100 because this is 77. The courses are 37. Ray Pulse is $9.99. You can only get that when you're a member of the Academy, but you're going to be able to get all that for under $100. And if you've signed up for anything or paid for anything, if you're already a member, there's going to be a 50% discount on that. So, you know, maybe that's an incentive to sign up today. If you haven't yet, just click up here. They'll say enroll now. You can join the courses, or you can just click right here to join the actual indicators. And you can input those codes, stack 30 or give me 30. Stack 30 is just for the indicators. Give me 30 is both for the indicators and for the Academy. Now I'm going to back out of that. Now let's do some Turbo TA. Arbitrum, Tron. We haven't done Tron, and I don't think I've ever done Tron on this stream. And sweet. All right, so XRP looking a little stronger than the other ones. I think this is probably driven speculation of when the XRP case is going to be settled. We are very overheated here. We could tell by the red wave on the trading stack. Again, I'm going to go off my face. Again, all of these indicators that you're seeing are part. The only one that's not part of the BitLab trading stack is this Mesopic Vision, which will be released in a couple weeks. But the BitLab Market Intelligence, Relative Extrema, Hidden Volume, and Significant Movement. And the reason why we have to have these on multiple indicators like this is because each one of these indicators aggregates data from like anywhere from 4 to 12 other indicators. Each one of them, Market Intelligence alone does, I think, 11 indicators all in one, reading divergences from RSI. I mean, look at this. Reading divergences from on balance volume, tracking money flow, relative strength, stochastics, momentum, MACD histogram, money flow, as well as having your high and low pivot points. I have mine turned off, but you can see just from a basic TA standpoint, you can see clearly when high and low pivot points are. You can also have all the divergences. I put it on show only last divergence, and you can see how these divergences line up very well with where pivot points are in terms of when the market's going to reverse in either direction. You tie this with the relative extrema, which shows you the health of each move. Tie this with the volume, showing where interest is coming in at price points, when volume's coming in at certain different price levels, and when things are generally overvalued or undervalued. Undervalued is blue, overvalued is red. You tie these things together, and it's like an absolute powerhouse of an indicator package. So with XRP, this is trending to the upside. We have lightly broken this this trend line, which looks like it's somewhat relevant, somewhat not. Maybe more like this. We are below this. We do have, if we come over here on the daily, we can see 3 bearish divergences, and the relative extrema is pink. Let's come down to the 12-hour. Look at this. 2 bearish divergences. This was pink coming into it, and we're getting the overheated red wave here. Come down to the 4-hour. We've got the red wave. We had a little bit of a bullish divergence on the volume, which gave us a push up right into unhealthy movement. You see this? Bullish push up right here. Pink candles means unhealthy, and we're getting the red wave. I would be looking for this likely, unless we get some other news story or something, this likely will either consolidate or test down to at least the 47 zone, if not down to 46, 46.5. That's what I'm seeing there. Now let's look at optimism. I said I would look at that. So optimism. This is just sideways consolidation right now. Sideways consolidation. Look at this. We got the 3 bearish divergences on the market intelligence. We had the relative extremist showing this was unhealthy on the way up anyway, leading into this. So this was already a signal looking for something. We got the 3 bearish divergences, and then we got the red wave. But this is very tight patterns here. With optimism, I've been adding periodically on a DCA level. I'm not even looking at price points on optimism because of their partnership with Coinbase. I do think optimism is going to perform very well in the bull run. We do see this sort of relative extrema is kind of trending up like this, tighter. I don't know. This for me is a very indeterminable chart, let's look at the daily. This looks, if I were just looking at it, like something that's doing like this. But we're not going to know. I have this on a schedule every Monday. I'm putting a small amount, like $200 into optimism. So if this does come down lower, I'm just DCAing anything at these levels. What was the other ones? Tron. I don't think I've looked at Tron since I sold my bag in 2018. Let's go ahead. You know what? I'm going to put this back on only. Godly. I'm going to put this back on only show last divergence, and I'm going to turn off the pivot points. This makes it easier to see how you can make it. You can make it look how you want to look. Now, Tron on the daily. Let's look at this. This does look like it had a bit of a trend line here that it is currently breaking out of. The Tron, see this? These angled to the upside. What do I mean by that? We can see right here, angled to the upside. Now we do have the aggregate momentum wave on here, which is this cloud. This is staying on the positive side and it's coming down and bouncing up, coming down and bouncing up. But this is very red right here. But this looks generally healthy. So to me, I don't follow a lot of fundamentals on Tron. To me, this actually looks more bullish than all the ones we've looked at so far. This does look like it's forming a bit of a bull flag. This is rounded out. If this were to pull back, I could see this pulling back to 7 cents or even lower down to 6, 7. If this does come down, we could be watching for a bounce down here at the 6 cents level, this trend line. But this is looking bullish enough that I think if this did come down, it would be testing probably the 7 cent zone, which potentially could be a good accumulation zone to prepare for this to trend up to option J, to trend up to 12 cents and 17 cents. Now, what was the other one? SWI. Let's look at SWI. SWI, man, look at how much data is on this chart. Is there a chart with longer? I don't know. We'll just do this. SWI has got so much hype around it for people that have bought into it. I think this has a lot of work to do. If I were to be investing in this, this is not financial advice. If I were to put money in this, I would be trading this with smaller percentages, like a micro cap, no matter, regardless of what it is, because there's no history on this. We can see that the momentum wave is up. It looks like it's trying to come back. It may be getting rejected here to come back down, but this is very overheated. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you on SWI. This is looking, look at this. This is just undeterminable. 4 bullish divergences, bearish divergences. I mean, red flag, so we got MACD, histogram, we got the RSI, the momentum, and the money flow all bearish. When money flow is bearish, that's one I really like to look for. That's a kind of a sign. You know, money's not showing interest at this level. There's less money. There's less money that's been really flowing in. So that means there's no hype. If there's money increasing coming up, that means there's hype coming in. So there's a money divergence now on the 4 hour. We have RSI divergence and momentum. If I were to bet, I would bet this would come down. This very well could pop through though, because it is a newer coin. It could act a little more irrationally. I would be playing this very safely. I would be waiting, even if this did break through, I wouldn't buy at this level. If this broke through, I'd be waiting for a confirmation pullback testing of this and basically buying that sort of confirmation breakout that way. That's what I'm seeing there. And there was one more, Arbitrum, I think it was. This is the last one we're going to be doing. So Arbitrum, let's go auto. It looks the same as SWI. Absolutely the same as SWI. I mean, there's some variation on it, but yeah, there's no real alpha to be gained here. Let's go to the daily. It's gonna look like nothing. So we've got option T. Option T. No, there's nothing there. Let's go to the 1 hour. Let's get a little more data. Okay, so yeah, this has a bit of a bullish case similar to XRP, but it's still indeterminable. This is looking like it's trying to work up, but if I were to come over here to MACD, there's a lot of movement up, and the RSIs and stochastic look pretty peaked out. You know, you see that there, and we can see that with the MACD stochastics. Yeah, I mean, I think this is likely going to have some small pullback. But if this were to continue, I'd be very cautious. I'd be waiting for a pullback to add to this. Again, this is newer in its availability and circulation, so it may act a bit more irrationally. But we looked at a lot of coins. Let's see if there's anything else we wanted to look at. Let's go over to alts. Go to leave. ICP. I mean, ICP this is fairly bearish. It's just kind of trading up. This is looking like it's trying to have another move to the downside, but we are seeing this sort of pinch to the upside. So let's go 12-hour. Look at that. Great call. Blue wave, relative extrema, flash green. Then we got the full 4 bullish divergences. If you're in a short, perfect zone to take a short when you see all these signals. If you were going to long this, then you know, we need to look option F. If you long that signal, you can see that this bounced up right into the golden pocket, and this is showing weakness here. Pink candles. I think ICP likely will break this and test at least 480 and maybe even come back down here to the 468, 465. So that's what I'm seeing. I love you all. If you haven't yet, make sure you come over BitLab Academy at Academy BitLab. Hit that retweet button, hit that like button, hit that follow button. Make sure you come and check out bitlabacademy.com if you have not yet. If you're watching over on the Hit Network, make sure you come down to all the socials that you see right there to the left. bitlabacademy.com, at Academy BitLab on Twitter, at Academy BitLab on Instagram, youtube.com/@BitLabAcademy. Come give us a follow. Let's see what we're at today. YouTube. Let's go ahead and search it up. Boom. Let's go ahead. We are at 7,200 followers. Come give us a follow. Check out these videos, this daily alpha. You can just scroll down when you're on the homepage on BitLab Academy YouTube. Scroll down here. Go through and watch some of these. Go through the Pro Trading View guide. Check out I'm going to be updating all the indicator videos here very soon, but the reversal and targets, how to do those, banks and Bitcoin, and some really strong macro outlook. But that's all I got for you today. I love you all. Have a wonderful Memorial Day. Hit those like buttons. Hit that subscribe button. Ding that bell. Again, my name is Kelly Kellam. Thank you for being here. Make sure you follow me right there at Kelly Kellam. I should say right there. At Kelly Kellam on Twitter. And I'll see you soon. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. Hit that like button, sucker.